Surf fans, welcome to the Corona Cero update show. That's right, because any time is a good time for a Corona Cero. So we are live here from Punta Roca in La Libertad, El Salvador, and we did have a little wind whippage, so that means we're going to go on a hold, but we are going to come back momentarily to make a call. Before we do all that, we did have some freakishly good waves come through earlier this morning. We got the Goof Troop back in the booth, Chris Cote, Strider Wasilewski. That's Tanner Gadauskas. Tanner just came in from the beach. Tanner, you were out there. Did you actually feel the wind shift right when that heat was about to start?
Yeah, and I feel like everybody's been talking about this wind and kind of wondering like what it's going to look like, and it felt like it really spiked in that heat. I think it's a good call, man. It would be so challenging to be doing some performance surfing in waves of that size with that amount of wind right up the face.
We're watching
almost impossible.
Sammy come in right now, and he looks like he's snowboarding in Chunder. But we do have a surfline forecast. The good news here is plenty of swell. You know, waves are not going to be a problem, so all eyes will be on the wind. So your Surf City El Salvador surfline forecast is looking like this. Everybody literally around the world talking about that purple blob. That's where we're getting these massive sets rolling through. There's a look at the wind speed, Strider. What are we seeing here?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough with the wind. It's forecasted to come around a little bit more south, which might give us a benefit, but it's a little tough with the side shore and then the onshore. But the onshore might actually, like, you know how it crumbles, but then the next wave is clean. So that's why we're gonna take a look at it in an hour. It was definitely some pumping surf. I mean, 8 to 12, 15 to 18 foot. What? Hello?
Yeah, it's amazing.
The swell is rising, you guys, and it's gonna be bombing through the rest of the day. So if the wind cooperates, we're going to get back at it. If not, we're hoping for tomorrow to look really good.
Well, you are the wind beneath my wings, and ironically speaking, we had the wind taken out of our sails by having to go on hold, but the good news is we have plenty of time left in the waiting period, tons of swell. You know, the surfers are all well prepared. They brought all their boards with them. So we see Sammy Pupo coming in. It's just, you know, this is the luxury that we have by packing in 3 days in a row of, you know, full days of surf. Is now we get to pick the eyeballs out of this and just wait for those magical moments that will come.
But I agree with Tanner. The opportunity out there was so slim to none with that wind blowing up and the size of the wave. So you really want to see the best surfing done by the best surfers, and that opportunity really wasn't there anymore. So, and I do look at tomorrow when I'm looking at the wind, and tomorrow the winds look like they come up from the northwest, which is as good as it gets for Punta Roca.
Yeah, I feel like if we were looking at surf that was a manageable size, you know, if it was head high and under, with this kind of wind, that's when like, oh, it's an air wind. You can make the most of it. You'll see guys get above the lip, but there's just so much energy in the wave face. It's really hard to set your rail anywhere when you're dealing with that much chop and chunder under your board. So good call.
If you were kite surfing, you could do a 400-foot air out there today, but
be all over it.
We didn't bring kites. We just brought surfboards. Like I said, this morning was magical. There was some incredible waves coming through, some incredible waves surfed, some strange moments happened in this opening heat. So we did have Liam O'Brien and Callum Robson. And look at, I mean, this is a tale of two completely different looks. Super glassy, beautiful conditions. Callum Robson got through, power surfing, and also with help of a priority, which, Tanner, I believe you were right in the front row.
I was calling this heat, yeah, and this heat had so much thunder in it at this point. Callum came out of the block strong, and Liam was looking really good, and it came down to, this was his second score. This was his backup 6 air. This first turn, dynamic, right in the pocket. Unfortunately, with that priority air for Liam in the end, there was some confusion between the two of them, and it went Callum's way.
But Callum, I mean, he is surfing so well in bigger surf. You know, he's kind of a, I guess, underrated. And this was the incident right here where Liam, I think, thought he had priority, but he did not.
It came down to a jet ski drop off and a paddle out, and the priority being distinguished because of a set wave coming in. Callum was in the spot. He looked, he saw blue. Liam looked, he thought he saw red. And tricky, you know, like you never want to see it go down to that kind of a call. These guys both being phenomenal surfers in their own right.
And friends.
And friends. It's a bizarre one. You know that there was no ill intention there in that call, so.
They were having a conversation about it as well, so, you know, it was good sports out in the lineup. And yeah, it's a bummer for Liam. Obviously, you know, these waves are tailor-made for his style, but they're also perfect for a guy like Callum Robson, whose power can definitely help him prevail in waves of consequence like we're seeing today. So you see the 0 on Liam O'Brien's secondary score. That just means with that priority, the second score is deleted. He had to sit on a 5-1-3. Give it up for Robson, 6.5 and a 6. It's a solid 12-5 total to start our day. Round 3, Heat 1 in the books. Robson now moving through, and I think he's a force to be reckoned with, no doubt. You know, with his tree trunk legs, his power, his style, you can just kind of see it's like you know, copy paste right on the wave, and you're going to see those big arcs and big numbers will follow.
Strider, you must be loving both of those servers, though. I feel like we talked about in the booth, they're surfers. When it turns into heavy water, both of those guys ratchet down and then they start charging.
Yeah, and the power you can kind of see. I mean, they're both underrated to me. They're both two of the best bigger wave surfers. Like, you know, those guys are laying into turns out there in that heat that, you know, it's very hard to go fast and be accurate and be able to turn your board critically in those sections, and all of the mid body strength that you have to have, right, to actually hold a turn like that. I mean, it's so fun to watch. And, you know, it's like, it's hard to translate in words to people who haven't done that before, but I guess it's like, you know, you're just trying to do a crunch through the whole thing and hold a you know, a core move, and you're in the gym and you're not allowed to let it go, and you're starting to shake and you're going through it, and then you have to, and then you get to release out of it.
Totally.
That's what's happening.
That was visceral right there from Strider. So a couple more heats went down before the wind whipped up. One of them was a fan favorite for sure. We're looking at Marco Mignot going up against the Titan in Yago Dora, but these guys evenly matched on the rankings, and this is how Marco Mignot became the king of the buzzer beater. Like we said, did it again last year, did it again this year. I mean, spoiler alert, we all know what happened. Marco, through this inside section, this one had Strider and I worried, excited, on edge, because you see this one starting to build up, and here we go. Kabloom. Bam, laces the landing. That was nice.
So when you look at a section like that, you know, a lot of times you think of aerials as garnering the hugest scores, but that was pound for pound more sketchy in my opinion. That was like 8 foot of a wall face converging against you, and for him to throw it up on the lip like that was really committed.
And Yago was starting to put on the typical Yago masterclass. He got an 8-point ride. We kind of felt like all the momentum was with him, but
It was. And to be honest, Yago let himself down on his second scoring ride. This one, no doubt, he blitzed it. He got the 8. It was an excellent and well-surfed wave. And it was really, Marco was not laying down. I mean, he was surfing really well out there. He got the score in my mind. Watching it, I thought he was like a 6.27 instead of the 6.17 that he actually got.
Needed a 6.17.
The perfect score. That was just crazy. But the second score of Yago is where he let himself down. He did not attack that wave, and he surfed it like he was going for a backup. And you could see it. And the judges saw it, and they gave him a score that he could have gotten an extra point on.
I think the story of Marco for me is like, it's all about self-belief. He was talking about in his post-heat interview the other day that he surrounds himself with people that have positive energy. And dude, he was on the blocks there. You're talking about going against a world champ. You need a score that's a buzzer beater situation, and he did the job that was needed. Like, that's so beyond clutch. And I feel like with Marco, you have that story a lot somehow.
I mean, in his post-heat interview, he said, "I'm that guy."
Oh, really?
He's like, "I'm that guy. I will do that. I am ready for it." Which, that's amazing. I'm ready for this. This is what I do, and he did it.
12.84 to 12.83. It literally does not get closer than that. So that was a really exciting, fun heat to watch. Of course, the waves, they cooperated. And, this round 3 is as unpredictable as any round 3 I've seen of the entire season for both men and women. A lot of the event favorites were out a while back. So now we're looking at what's next, okay? So we got Heat 3 that just went down. Heat 4, that's where we put it on hold. Sammy Pupo versus Leonardo Fioravanti. Italo Ferreira's going up against Crosby Colapinto. A lot of people are looking at Crosby like this is his event to win. Calivas versus Jachianka. Some great goofy versus regular matchups all the way through the back half of round 3. Medina versus Jack Robinson. We're talking 2 title threats going head-to-head. And then you got Baron Mamiya versus Alan Cleland Jr. So every heat
Wow, Al
looks
was-
like it has a story to tell.
Al Cleland was ripping this morning, you guys. And, you know, let's just say it. Yago was an event favorite. He's out. I mean, so when you look at, like, say, Crosby and Italo, you know, everybody's saying, Crosby, you know, this is your time. But it was also Yago's time. It was also Toledo's time. It was also Griffin's time. So anything can happen because the level of surfing is so high right now.
No, you're nailing it. I feel like the matchups have been really good no matter what, and the dynamic of the heat plays out in interesting in different ways. I personally like the backyard brawl of Kauli Vast and Zhao Chunka. Those guys are guttural power surfers. They both love bigger waves. If the conditions can just back off wind-wise, they're going to slam hammers.
Let's keep our fingers crossed for tomorrow, because if we get the good wind that grooms it and it's offshore, it will be incredible to watch those guys battle.
I believe in Punta Roca.
Yeah, it's funny though, because we're on hold and you're seeing the wind, you're feeling the wind, but it's been impressive how quickly things have changed around here. Who knows, in this time, does a rain squall come, pass through, and things glass off a little bit? I think it was a good call to go on hold, not just call it off right away. I hope it's back on. It's so fun watching these heats.
100%. Yeah, just remember, we are not off. We are on hold, so please stay tuned. And while we wait, why not? I have the remote control. I can watch whatever I want, and I want to watch Ethan Ewing. Let's take a look at a master at work. So Ethan Ewing with an incredible performance on the Gold Coast. This is an event to remember, one of the contests of the decade. Here you go.